Okay, guys and girls, we're on. It is the Monday Night Rant. It is the Monday Night Rant. And I want to welcome you all. I want to welcome you all coming on. Good to see you, my friends. Good to see you, my friends. And let's wait for this audience to build up. Really excited today because the topic that has been suggested by Susan Zheng, the real estate gym head, she said to me, Tom, let's talk about how do you get your clients to fall in love with you, and particularly in a situation that really matters in real estate, which is the listing presentation. How? Because we clearly know that there's this moment of connection that you have where people, hey, and Mole, hey, by the way, I've been really watching and enjoying your TikTok videos. And by the way, I've made a decision. I'm going to add TikTok as a distribution channel and start putting content on there. So if you are on TikTok, you'll probably start seeing stuff filtering there. So do follow me on TikTok if you are on TikTok. Assad, how are you? Good to see everyone. Hey, Darren, good to see you. Good to see everyone on here. And yeah, so the first thing I'm also going to tell you is I have had a rough 2-3 weeks. Hello, Alan. Good to see you. Luke Barry. Good to see you all. I have had a challenging time, and I want to let you know that last Monday we actually had the Monday Night Rant as a premiere. It wasn't done live. It was using the premiere function, which basically is a pre-record, and it's because I had COVID. And yes, if you have been following my content, you would have known I actually had COVID as well on the first week of January in Byron Bay, where the virus was circulating a lot. And I was COVID positive and I got smashed. Like many people actually just say it's a bit of a cold, a bit of a sore throat, and, a bit of temperature. For me, it was a lot worse. It was a lot worse. And now it appears the reason it was a lot worse is it wasn't Omicron. It was most likely Delta. And the reason I say it is that I've come back, I've recovered, and I get on a plane to start, doing training at conferences. That's one of the things I do as part of my work. And yeah, I went to Melbourne. I had 6 conferences or 6 training sessions in 3 days, started going to hotel rooms, of course, sleeping away from home. And I started feeling really, really bad. And I didn't know. The last thing I thought of is it's COVID, because I was under the impression if you get COVID, you don't get it again. Plus, I am triple jabbed. I mean, I had the vaccinations in May and June, and then I had the booster in November. And I'd had COVID in January. I mean, if you want to talk about having immunity, as the doctors say, I thought that was it. So the truth is, I let my guard down and I went back to what life was like pre COVID. And I got infected and I got sick. And even the Department of Health could not understand how you can actually get COVID 2 times in like 25 days. And they confirmed it was a separate infection. It wasn't, long COVID. It was a clear new infection. And most likely what it was is that I had um, uh, Delta the first time, and that my body fought Delta, and my immune system tried very hard, particularly with the fact that I've had cancer 3 times before and I've had a lot of chemotherapy, which had meant my immune system probably had gone really to fifth gear to fight Delta. And then 2 weeks later, my immune system has still been rattled by Delta, and I contract Omicron. I'm in the wrong spot, wrong time, and I got Omicron. And it was, got to tell you, it was hard. I've tried to go for a run. I can't do it yet. I'm sure I'll be able to do it in hopefully a week or a few days if I'm lucky. But that was the reason why we did a premiere. And, I've been laying low, obviously isolating. But apart from isolating, I was I was smashed. I was absolutely smashed. So we're back on track, guys and girls. We're back on track. And all I can say to you, my friends, listen, you can get COVID 2 times. I did in 3 weeks. Guys and girls, now let's get on the show. Let's get on the show. Yes, thank you, Shelford. Of course, we beat cancer, and COVID was more of a speed hump than anything else. So, guys and girls, I want to talk to you. I want to talk to you about this subject here, and I'll just bring up the banner: how to have your clients fall in love with you. But before I do that, I do need to make an announcement. We have a winner. We have a winner. And Susan wanted to make sure that I did not forget that I mentioned a couple of things. And let's have a look at who the winner was. Who the winner was. I need to bring this up. Let me see. Da-da-da-da-da-da. Leanne Bajarski from Freedom Property has won a 30-minute one-on-one coaching session with me because she won the Google review competition. We were running a Google review competition, and what the Google review competition was you had to actually contribute to doing a Google review, which I think is very important, everyone. I think that you should all be working very hard and having one of your major KPIs of 2022 getting the most amount of reviews that you've ever had in a 12-month period. Whether it's Rate My Agent, whether it's Google, whether it's Facebook, whether it's realestate.com, whatever you're using, I want you to understand, my friends, get reviews. Get them when the deal is done, not 3 weeks later, when the passion and excitement is there from the buyer and seller. The second thing I want to announce, my friends, is that tomorrow at 4 o'clock, we have a webinar and it is called Digital Prospecting. You are going to be blown off your feet. You are all welcome. We are going to send you an invite if you're on our email list. We're also going to publish it on social media, but it is open to everyone at 4 o'clock, digital prospecting session, how to prospect using digital. So let's go on with the show. And what I want to speak to you about is how to get clients to fall in love with you. Now, I just want you to picture this for one moment. I want you to picture this, right? You're on Tinder, right? You're on Tinder and you find someone that appeals to you. And it doesn't have to be Tinder. Let's just turn around and say you are going on a date, whether it came from Tinder, whether it came because you met a person out, you are attracted to them, you asked them out, and now is the date. Here is the date, right? So you show up to the date and you sit down, and I just want you to picture this conversation. Hi, really pleased to meet you. Yeah. Sorry, I'm running a little bit late. I've been very busy. I've been working on a big acquisitions deal. I'm acquiring a very big development site for myself. And sorry, I was running late. It just needed me to sort of finalize the deal, and it's been done. And I'm great to meet you. As you can see, I love working out, and I'm a gym junkie, and you could probably see from my body. And I love my cars. As you can see, that's my car just parked right out the front there. That red Ferrari is my little baby. And I spend a lot of my time working, and I love eating at beautiful restaurants, and I love traveling exotic places of the world. Of course, first class is the only way that I go. And as you can see, that I love style. I actually have 73 different suits. My favorites, of course, are Hugo Boss, but I don't mind Armani. And you can see that the way that I look, I have no shortage of fans, if you'd like, I can put it that way. But very very entrenched in the work that I do. So I thought I'd like to let you know that that's me. Guys and girls, think about that as the first 5 minutes on a date with someone. My friends, that is what many listing presentations in real estate are like. It's about someone going in and talking about how great they are, right? I know I've gone to an extreme to illustrate an example, but this, my friends, is what people do. This, my friends, is why real estate agents suck at getting people to really connect with them, because they've got a mask on their face. And I don't know what causes the mask to create this illusion out there, then they're better than what they are. And they create this impression. But the irony is, it's not what people want. What people want is they want to feel that they're talking to you. And they also want to know that you're interested in them. So wouldn't a blind date or starting a meeting with someone brand new in the dating scene, wouldn't it be better if you were someone that was just curious, open-minded, more interested in them than about yourself? And that, my friends, is one of the real secrets in getting clients to fall in love with you. One of the all-time great books of connection, of influence, is Dale Carnegie's book. Look, it's quite old, right? It's quite old. It's a timeless classic. How to Win Friends and Influence People. My friends, every person on this live stream needs to download that book or go off and buy it. It is the benchmark book that goes off and talks about how you get someone to like you. And we clearly know, and we did it in a session 2 weeks ago when we had Todd Duncan, where we talked about the 80-20 rule, that in an interaction, 80% of it should be them talking, them describing where they are now versus where they want to be, talking about the things that they like and the things that they don't like about real estate, about their current situation, about their future situation, because all this is doing is helping you actually serve them. So in this rant, what I'd love to do is to let you know that one of the things to get people to really like you is to understand that there are special moments in that relationship when you're going to an appraisal. There are these special moments. And the most important thing I'm going to say to you is, forget about who you think you should be and start being who you really are. You were born an original. Don't die a copy. Be you. There is no better you than you. There are 8 billion people on this planet, but there is no better you than you. Even if you were to copy someone else, at best, you would be a second best copy of them. But I say to you, my friends, work your strengths. Be proud of who you are. And it doesn't matter what part of real estate you are in, early stages, middle stages. You might be right now the dominant attraction agent in your marketplace. But let me tell you, one of the things that's going to get people to like you is to show a weakness, to show a vulnerability, to show that you're not perfect. People are going to get attracted to that because they're going to say, he's honest. He's actually not plastering over his cracks like a home that has just been patched up to be sold. You see, people can smell bullshit a mile away. And for me, I remember when I was young and I was going to listing presentations, I would often actually say to people things like this: hey, I've got to let you know, I've just joined real estate. I'm like relatively new, and I don't have 10, 20 properties on the market. I've got 2 or 3 properties at the moment, and yours is going to be the 4th one. And I want to let you know that Every day I've got to prove myself in the marketplace. It's a privilege to represent you. It's not an entitlement. I've got to prove myself each and every day. But I want to let you know, when you get me, you're not just getting me on my own, you're getting me as part of a team. So that's something that you need to know. And the second thing I want to let you know is that, hey, there's not going to be a real estate agent that's going to work harder in this marketplace than me to get you your price. And I'm not one of these big real estate agents that's got an army of assistants. You know what? You list with me, you're getting me. I'm the one that's having all the conversations with the buyers. I'm the one that's going to be doing all the open homes. I'm the one that's going to be talking to you. I'm accountable to you. You're not going to sort of get mixed in this, big supermarket process where you're going to have all these young assistants working. You're just going to have me. And my friends, I've got to tell you, so many people opened up to me and connected with me because of the honesty and the vulnerability I brought to the table. I want to talk to you about some of the moments that exist in a listing presentation that you can create a strong connection. The first moment is that call, the phone call, the phone call. When you actually set the appointment, stop sounding like a real estate agent and start sounding like a human being. Here's an example. Hey, Mr. and Mrs. Vendor, yes, I'd love to come over and see your property as we've discussed on the phone. I want to let you know my appointments are 10 o'clock in the mornings. I do appointments at lunchtime. I do appointments in the afternoon. I want to let you know I also do appointments at 7 o'clock at night if that's going to suit you. I can't do appointments between 5 and 6:30 because this is a time I've picked up the kids from school and I allocate a bit of time to them. But once that's done, I go out. Do you realize that, man, you might think you sound like it's a weakness? I can't do 5 to 6:30 because I spend time with my kids. But I've got to tell you, there's a strong signal going out to that vendor that says, I'm a family person. I'm just like you. I wake up, I have the same challenges of managing work, family, kids, school, sport, and people can relate to you by you bringing it to the table. So the first moment of truth is connecting with them at the pre-list. The next moment of truth, my friends, that matters in real estate at a listing presentation is when that door opens. When the door opens and they see you, what are they seeing? Are they seeing someone that's dressed up looking like they're trying to audition for a Netflix special or Wall Street? Or are they meeting someone that they just feel like, man, they're cheerful, they're on time, they look like they've got a nice smile, their shoes are polished and clean, so they obviously take care and they're not sloppy. It might not be a $5,000 suit, but they're well presented and they're courteous and they're wearing a mask. And in addition to that, they've offered whether they should take their shoes off for the listing presentation. That's what I mean, my friends. So there's that moment. And then, my friends, the next moment is the guided tour of the property. And how do you get them to fall in love with you there? Simple stuff like, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Vendor, take me for a tour of the property. Show me the invisible value of your home, the things that I can't see. Tell me about the things that are not so obvious that I can explain to the buyer. Because if you can sell the house to me, my friends, I can then sell the house to someone else. So that's the next moment of truth, that tour of the property. And I've got to let you know, we move on to the next moment. And the next moment is when you've done the tour and you've come back and you're sitting down at a table. And I call it the sit down talk. As Joe says, make sure you've got no holes in your socks. That's not a good look, particularly if you're hammer toe. You know what I mean? My friends, I've got to say to you, that sit down talk becomes absolutely critical because during that sit down talk, You're moving on to the business. And there's a moment in this conversation that you're going to have to nail. And that is the conversation on price. Look, this either blows you out of the game or gets you in the driver's spot. And in 2022, in a marketplace that's moving from nuts to normal, look, it's still pretty good, but it's probably not as crazy as it was. And there's chitter chatter about interest rates, elections. Please, my friends, remember, 4 weeks before an election, people sort of press a bit of the pause button and there's not a heap going on. So what we got to do is we got to make hay while the sun shines. Right now, we've got till the middle of April. So really, we've got 8 weeks of selling. Then we're at Easter. Then we're hitting that election period. My friends, you've got to learn to handle price really good. And how do you do that? You give people hope, but you don't lie to them. And if someone says, I want 1.3, do you believe that I can get it? You don't say yes. Because what if you can't? And then they hold you accountable and they corner you over the next few weeks. You don't say. You say, hey, listen, if we got that number, that would be a great number. And I would love to actually be aligned to a property that's sold for that price in this area. I mean, the truth is, Mr. and Mrs. Vendor, there are 2 things that I can't really answer for you specifically today, and that is exactly what it's going to sell for and exactly when it's going to sell for. But I can tell you there's not going to be a real estate agent in this suburb that's going to work harder than me to get you the most money. I can tell you that. And I've got to let you know, Mr. and Mrs. Vendor, there's a bit of information we actually don't have today, and that is the buyer intel. Buyer intel is something that we get once people start coming through. And you know what? That's something we're going to actually review after 4 or 5 days. Buyers come through. We're going to get a good feedback of what they like and what they don't like and whether we need to change anything, maybe move things around the home, maybe up the marketing. I don't know. Let's get the buyer intel. My friends, Susan's just actually put in a link there on how to deliver an irresistible, unstoppable listing presentation and not cornering yourself by putting a high price. You can't be Larry the Liar in this market, my friends. No, no, no. You can't be the agent that overprices listings, signs them up, and then thinks to themselves, the market's going to put them together. That game's over. That game's over. We're back to normal real estate, my friends. Vendors here, buyers here. List the property with an expectation that you'll be reviewing activities very soon after you've listed it. And the reason I say it is this: if you don't, you're going to get stuck with overpriced turkeys, my friends. You're going to be stuck with overpriced turkeys. Anyway, toning it down again, all I'm going to say to you is that they're calling a real estate agent in for appraisal. But as soon as you learn the art of getting people to like you, the rest of the stuff will slowly work itself out. When there's trust in the relationship, the terms become negotiable. You can work out the fee. You can work out the marketing. But they got to feel he or she's the one for me. I trust them. My friends, sorry, Angela, for scaring you. Guys and girls, on that point, it's nearly 8:30. I want to thank you so much for the biggest privilege that you can give me, your attention. Biggest privilege you can give me. The next thing you can do is, if you thought this content was valuable, press the share button. I love going in there and looking at who shared the content. It means that it's valuable. Susan, yes, I did make those announcements. Lisa, good to see you. Faye, good to see you. Angela, good to see you. Good to see you. Yes, Susan, I did make those 2 announcements. Leanne's won the prize. And tomorrow we've got the big webinar. And by the way, Real Estate Gym members, I did a private session with my client, Josh Tesselin, today. and we have taken a professional video of the private session, a backstage view of what it looks like to be training one of the best. It goes for an hour and it's going to drop into the real estate gym in the next 7 days. Only gym members are going to have access to this content. This is the backstage view. And I've got to tell you, the language, some of it is pretty full on. It's aggressive, but you're going to look at what it looks like to do a behind the scenes training coaching session with the best of the best. Susan has put in the link for tomorrow's webinar. I look forward to seeing you there. I want to acknowledge the great companies I represent as part of the work I do in the industry. Realestate.com, News Corp, Agent Box, Campaign Agent, Secure Exchange, Before You Bid, Podium, and also now Realtair, a great business that actually has just an array of products that are in line with how I go about things, from signing on glass to the way that they run their auctions, to the way that they've got their, price updates and digital introductions, and the ability for you to run a business and write 800,000 without a PA. They allow that to happen. Technology, my friend, is there to help you reduce your costs and be more productive. Thank you so much, Anmol. Guys and girls, I'm going to sign off. I want to thank you so much for the biggest thing that you can give me, your attention. And remember, How to Influence and Influence People, that's mandatory reading. And the second book is the book Influence by Dr. Robert Cialdini. You can actually watch the video between Dr. Robert Cialdini and me in the real estate gym. Guys and girls, I want to thank you so much. Signing off. And it's good to be healthy again.